Did Yuta lie? So I did a poll on who's stronger and why, and a lot of people have decided that Yuta is stronger than Hakari. However, I'm here to tell you, what do you believe more? Narrative implications or actual feats? And I'm going to tell you right now, Hakari is stronger than Yuta, and this is because of 3 key reasons. 1. The data book, and I will quote, which is from Gege, has said, Hakari Kinji, a third-year student at Tokyo Jujutsu Tech, is a powerful person who even Okotsu acknowledges is stronger. The data book comes directly from Gege, has stated that Hakari is stronger. Moreover, we get to the second quote, where we get from Yuta, where he says, but when he gets worked up, he's stronger than I am. Yuta himself has said that Hakari is stronger than he is when he is worked up. We get to the point, and this is something that people try to disregard the statement by saying Maki said that it wasn't true. Well, what does Maki know? Respectfully, how is Maki going to quantify what Yuta himself has said? Plus, let's pay attention to the wording Yuta used. It wasn't like he's outright admitting that Hakari is stronger than he is. He says once he hits this role, he is stronger than I am. This could be as a snarky type comment because he's basically saying only for these certain conditions he's stronger than me, but for the most part I will beat him. And that is a more than valid argument to have. And then there's another argument people try to say is Yuta is being humble. Well, if I'm correct, is this not the same Yuta said he will kill Geto and go back to see his friends? Is this not the same Yuta who said, I will exterminate Itadori, even though after the context we understood what happened? Is this not the same Yuta who said, I will amount to 400 points and kill Kenjaku? What has told me that this man is humble? Just because he's a nice guy and he cares for his friends, people for some reason think that Yuta is humble. My guy's not humble. He says he's going to end the culling games himself. You can't be humble and say you're going to end the culling games. A person who's humble is Ippo. If you're familiar with Hajime no Ippo, no matter how much work he puts in, he's always like, I'm gonna try my best, you never know. That is somebody who is humble or has less self-confidence. Yuta is very confident in his ability, and he hasn't indicated to me to be humble. Trust me, if Yuta was humble, he would be having his inner monologues like, Gambare Yuta, like bruv, my man is not talking about work hard Yuta. Come on Yuta, you can do this. Everything is, I will achieve this goal and I will do it. That's someone who has a level of self-confidence that isn't akin to being humble. I understand that Yuta being a nice guy, and especially around his friend, he has a lot more soft and timid side. But to say he's humble, bruv, nothing shows that he's humble. He's just saying he wants to stomp everybody. He will free Gojo. He will revive Inumaki. He will save his friends. Everything is, I will do this, I will do this. There is never a point until the prologue where I've ever seen Yuta begin to doubt himself or downplay himself when talking about somebody else. The only time people have said this is because it's been done with someone like Hakari, and they don't like the way I guess Hakari fights. This is not even me saying that Hakari beats Yuta in a fight 100% time. I'm just asking this specific term, who is stronger, and Yuta is weaker than Hakari based on the events that the story has shown me. After Yuta has murked Juve, we get the quote where we see that Yuta has become special grade sorcerer second only to Satoru Gojo. The issue is what he says next, in unusual abilities. Him having unusual abilities isn't akin to him becoming the second strongest grade sorcerer right now. Moreover, Yuta himself has said that Hakari is stronger. Gojo has said Hakari and Yuta are relative. So if these people have put Hakari on the scale, and Yuta at this moment of time himself has said that he's stronger, I'm inclined to believe Yuta until the story can show me otherwise. We then get to the part when obviously Panda, Megumi and Itadori are trying to convince Hakari to join the culling games. Hakari says, judging from the scores, Kashimo is the strongest guy. It's only reasonable that I should be the one to fight him. So Hakari said he's stronger. Yuta said he's stronger, and Gege himself has told us he's stronger. So I have nothing to tell you to say that Hakari is of course stronger than Yuta. Now we come to the point, and this is why I asked, what do you think is more important? Narrative scaling or actual feats? Some people will say that the feats that we've shown have indicated that Yuta could potentially beat Hakari. And listen, if that's your opinion, that is valid. I'm not going to argue that because that's opinion based, and the good thing about JJK is matchups matter and they can differentiate from someone being stronger. This comes to my second point. Even though Hakari is stronger, and I'm firm on Hakari is stronger until the story indicates otherwise, Yuta can still beat him in a fight. A good comment from Corey is he said that he thinks Yuta is stronger, but there's certain win cons where Hakari can beat him in a style of attrition. And this is some of the things that I agree with. Listen, just because Hakari, in my opinion, is stronger, because once he hits his role, and what we can infer from his role is him continuously hitting looping jackpots, it's going to be very difficult for people to outlast him, and it was shown in the fight with Kashimo, such dangerous curse energy manipulation that he was being able to defend against a person who can shatter your ribs out of one strike. Now we get to someone such as Yuta, and my whole point is, we know that with his ability or reverse curse technique in his base form, and we know with so far the obligations where we don't know how quick it is for Hakari to hit his first jackpot. We can indicate that potentially Yuta can kill him before he hits his first jackpot, and this is a fair argument. I never disagree with someone if they think that Yuta can kill him before he hits his jackpot. Now this is all I'm going to say in regard to them actually fighting. I did a video where I did Hakari versus Yuta, and well, if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert, I said Yuta would win because that was at the point where we hadn't seen more of Hakari's domain and what it could have done. I was part of the wave of, oh yeah, Yuta said it because he's being nice. However, I hadn't read the data book at that point, and that was kind of the strengthening for me to know that Hakari could win. Moreover, let's talk about Hakari's stamina. He has elite level stamina, and once he hits his jackpot, he can continuously loop domains. Of course, I've given the win con where I think Yuta can kill him from before the domain. However, during the domain, we know that one, Yuta has a 5-minute time limit with Rika and Mimicry, and Hakari can continuously loop domains where, at this moment of time, it seems as if it's rigged for him to basically never miss. Or if he misses, he has the additional things as increased probability mode, which gives him new perks, and he still has different things as being able to manipulate probability in his different reach scenarios, which allows him to make up for the deficiency of not necessarily the versatility of somebody such as Yuta. It's just, I feel as if people downplaying Hakari because they think he's not as versatile. Versatility doesn't mean that he's stronger. Ryu in hand-to-hand combat was bodying Yuta, but that doesn't mean necessarily Ryu is always going to beat Yuta in a fight. Yuta showed his versatility, and when he had Rika, being able to overpower such a strong fighter. Within the hand-to-hand combat, I don't need to tell you how the Sendai colony went. He was getting fucked up, bro. So I feel as if there has to be a grain of salt when people use these type of stuff, and it's why I think the reason Gege made sure that Hakari faced somebody such as Kashimo. There was a reason for it. Even though Yuta is strong, and even though I believe if they were to fight Yuta and Kashimo, Yuta would win slightly more. The chances of Kashimo killing Yuta than the chances of Kashimo killing Hakari is far higher. Disagree, I think that is biased, especially with how the events of the fight goes. If it's different in a 1v1 where they see each other straight away, yes, the potential Kashimo can completely volley him in base and potentially kill him before he gets to his jackpot. But this is what I'm talking about. The fact that he has a rigged jackpot and us as the audience are still trying to get to understand what his technique is. There is still a lot of things to come from Hakari, and similarly even Yuta. Yuta has his domain expansion, and there is still potentially more things that we can see from him. But at this moment of time, and unless the story decides to change so, if you think Yuta is stronger than Hakari, that is an incorrect statement because the story and Gege said that Hakari is stronger. However, if you believe Yuta beats Hakari in a fight more times than him, that is more than valid, and I could not disagree with you because Yuta's versatility, he can be able to make up a deficiency of being weaker than somebody. This was evident in the fight against Sendai, like I've talked about, in periods where he was in his base form, where Uro, in my opinion, was overpowering him in hand-to-hand combat, and evident from Ryu saying every time they use their big attacks, Yuta would use his reverse curse technique. Moreover, we know when he obviously summons Rika, he becomes a far dangerous fighter, and he began to change the tides of the Sendai colony and capitalizing on the best opportunities available. However, this is going to conclude. Hakari is stronger than Yuta. If you want to argue that, you can argue with Gege, unless Gege then tries to contradict it later on in the story. However, at this moment of time, if you think Yuta is stronger, then I don't know what to say. I feel as if I've made my point very clear. Like, I'm not saying he can't win the fight, but if you think he's stronger, then
really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble.